Hello and welcome to the first video on Ricky's Points and Reactions, which is just a little side channel, mostly for reactions, as you can tell from the name of it. And I just want to blab about Chantal and Amberlynn Reid, mostly Chantal, it seems, and it doesn't really fit my main channel, which talks mostly about disability and media representation, and honestly it could be a lifestyle sort of channel too once I get back to talking about whatever it is I want to talk about. For something like this, I think it requires a separate channel where it's just going to be reactions to stuff, and I don't know how long this is going to last, but I wanted to try it out. Now, sometimes Chantal especially does overlap with my main channel because of this girl right here, Sasa, who is a disabled child. She has Down syndrome. And I guess that's what we can start off with right now, is this girl who has been exploited on live streams from Chantal and Sala. And there was a live stream, donations were made, and we don't really know where that money went. And I know Unicorn Pondu always says at the beginning of his videos, where are the live stream receipts? So I guess my main, or not my main reason, but part of the reason why I wanted to start this stuff is because why not have it from the perspective of a disabled person? Because most channels I watch, as far as I know, are not disabled in any way. So why not? Why not? In the name of Hillary Duff, why not? And of course, I'm going to use YouTube videos because I don't recall Kick having captions, and I am deaf, so I need captions, and that's just the way it's going to be. So thank you, Barbecue Chillin', for this video. I appreciate the work that you put in and making it accessible, even though you don't do it on purpose, but it works at the end of the day. Let's go, shall we? But yeah, so this tweet or community post screenshot says, "Hi guys, Salah will be live with Safa today," and that's all we need to know. I don't know how I feel about this girl being on a live stream. I know Syria and Kuwait would have different laws on this. Kuwait is not involved in this in any way. Canada has different laws about this, I think. But the United States of America has the, what was the name of it? The COPPA laws that, you have to be extra careful about having children and stuff in your video content. And on my main channel, I even say that I do not have children, or that this is not involved, or it is not appropriate content for children.
You guys do realize Trisha Paytas puts her babies in her videos among so many other people, right? Her channel is also controversial. If your mind automatically goes to that bad, disgusting stuff when you see a child online, you need help, not me. Sasa is Salah's close family, and her parents have no issue with it. Why should they, weirdos? Anyway, that is the last time saying anything on this matter, period.
Shout out to Barbecue Chillin' for making this screen reader friendly by reading out the screenshot. From what I remember, the last time when Chantal was in Syria and Sasa was involved in her live streams or in her videos, there were a lot of predatory comments made on the live stream and on the videos, and Chantal did not do anything to remove those comments. I don't know, I don't recall her, what's the word that I'm looking for, egging it on, for lack of a better word. I don't think that she was, encouraging it by any means. I sure hope not. Granted, I know her track record of supporting PDF files, even though she doesn't think so. Yeah, when you have those comments that pop up and you don't do anything to call them out, to remove them, or things like that, yes, people might put their children in videos, and that's something that a lot of us don't really care for. There are a lot of children of very popular influencers that have come out and say they did not really care for being shown like this. Some, I think, have even written stuff about it now. Yeah, it's just not the way to go.
I don't get this whole thing of, no children should... I've been called a pedophile so many times in my fucking comments just because Sasa was in a live stream today. So now now they call me a pedo because of that. You know.
Is it simply because you put Sasa in the live stream and in a video, or is it because you didn't do anything to remove the comments that were being made, and you didn't do anything to call them out and to tell people to stop that? You didn't block these people, and thus they were able to continue doing that.
I mean, like, people are so fucking stupid. Oh my god, this is for them. How are you? I hope they do fucking report me. I hope, please. I hope they do. Can you imagine reporting for child exploitation? So by that logic, every single person that shows a child online, movies, fucking TV shows, Miss fucking Rachel, behind bars and the clinker bitch. By that logic. Like, do you even hear?
I'm having such a big brain fog today, but we have rules set in place in the movie industry, child labor laws, and parental consent, and lots of paperwork when you get children, when you have minors involved in TV shows and movies. There's a reason why they have a limited amount of hours. There's a reason why parents end up on set, and for people like Miss Rachel, it's the same thing. It is an educational children's show that she's running, and you're going by the book on this stuff, or at least I would hope that these people are going by the book on this stuff. This is not just randomly shoving a kid in front of a camera for your YouTube video and your live stream, and once again, letting people say stuff. So if Miss Rachel, I assume she would have like a staff that would check the comments and stuff like that. If there were a comment that was inappropriate, I am sure Miss Rachel and her staff would delete that comment, hide that channel from her channel and the comments. It wouldn't necessarily block them from viewing, but I'm sure they would take precautionary measures to try to lessen all of that stuff as much as possible. Not the same thing.
Okay, listen, Meowing Mom. There are going to be pedos everywhere in the world. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Sasa is fully clothed at a park in Syria. How the fuck is it my problem that pedos exist in the world? Can you please fucking explain that?
Yes, these types of people are going to exist in the world. However, you can do stuff. You and your husband can do stuff to make sure that nobody makes those sort of comments to where we can see it, and so that Sasa would be able to see it. You can take those measures and keep it hidden.
Fuck off, I keep nasty comments. I blocked every single fucking person. So eat shit, you fucking weirdos. The fact that your mind goes there, you know what? Let's just fucking let the dogs bark. That's what they do. I hate the internet. It's so stupid. No, I didn't get mass reported. For what? Where? I don't know. I don't care. How the fuck we're not even allowed to see children anymore? In any context. Pick up the children, oh my fucking god. How about you fucking all eat shit and go to hell to even think that we would endanger Sasa? How about that? Let them bark. Bark, bark. You're the one going woof woof now. Keep barking. Stay mad. I don't give a fucking shit.
Okay, first of all, your husband is the one that barks. You endanger a child when you put them in the way of comments that are not appropriate, and you let them stay there and don't do anything about it.
We didn't even ask for any fucking money today, and we're grifting somehow using Sasa. Why does it matter where the donation goes? It's our fucking channel. It's not yours.
It matters when you tell people that a donation is going to go to this particular thing, and then you don't use it for that thing. It is like someone who is currently in the middle of a trademark lawsuit right now, who accepted money for the floods in Nebraska from 2019, and it went to their personal Venmo account, and law had to get involved to make sure that the funds were actually being sent around, because this person was not sending those funds.
Don't worry about where the money goes. We didn't ask for any donations today for Sasa, so don't fucking worry about it.
Also, you don't have to explicitly ask for donations, but this is coming from somebody who knows how to play the game. If you include somebody less fortunate in your videos, you're kind of asking for it, just not directly, but you're hoping that people will send something.
Thank you, Nina. I disagree. I think it's just Karens, people who want to find something to be outraged about. Like, at this point, no matter what it is I do, they have to be outraged. You know? So in this case, they think it's, oh, there's a child involved, so they fucking run with it and say that we're pedos. So
this is coming from the woman that is outraging about everything. And this is coming from somebody that has anger management issues.
Any of you in the chat who interact with your children, family members in any way, you're apparently pedos by that logic, according to them. Does that not strike you as fucking weird and sick? I agree with you 100%. I also think Stella should do more of the defending. Thank you, Ryder. So I message him. I'm like, look at how fucking R-word these people are. And then he's like,
See, this is where I keep incorporating Chantal into my main channel because she loves to use the R-word. And then she gets upset of herself when she's like, oh no, I use this bad slur against other people, but for some reason, every time when it's about disabled people, she makes excuses for it. And now she's doing it again here. And when it's about a topic specifically about disabled people, disabled children, and then you think that saying the R word is going to make that better. Instead of saying it out loud, you just say specifically R word. I know this woman does not care, but I just like to talk about it every single time because this is so funny to me.
And nobody else on the planet, they have a problem with showing their kids online. You do know that Trisha shows her own children.
If you took 2 seconds to look on the internet, there's a lot of commentary from commentary channels, especially talking about why it's not great, and that a lot of parent influencers showing their kids. I mean, did we not just recently-ish have a documentary about one influencer who turned out to be inflicting violence against her children and other things like that, and she's in jail, or I hope she is. I mean, granted, I don't think I hope most parent influencers are not doing that type of stuff, but parent influencers who constantly shove their children in front of the camera are definitely being talked about. But if you took 2 seconds to look outside of your own camera and stop looking at your face for 2 seconds and look this stuff up, you would know that.
The law showing his fucking close family with permission from her parents. Seriously, what's wrong with a child? She's fully fucking clothed.
If Sasa's parents consented to this, then okay, whatever. But again, the fact of the matter is, it's the fact that people were leaving inappropriate comments that are harmful to this girl, and you let them keep going.
Even sexualize that situation. You're the one sexualizing a non-existent situation. The situation.
No, the people who left those comments on your live stream and video are the ones sexualizing it. And it's a conversation that keeps happening because you don't do anything about it, and there are no loose ends being tied up.
So Salah took her to a park, and he's also giving everything he earns from the videos that Sass is in to her family. It's not your business. It's not your business because we didn't ask for the money. It was just given, Jordy.
When you made the live stream that said that there was going to be money going towards her education, that becomes people's business. Just because it's your channel. When people tip to me and they donate to my accessibility campaigns for the election year, that money is going towards documents that I have created that I want to pass out to candidates, or to tabling products that I need. And even if it doesn't get spent right away because something happened, it is still being saved for the future for those things. Or maybe something else. Maybe I have a different idea that's relevant. But that's where it goes. And when people donate that money to you, and they think that it's going to go towards a disabled children's or disabled child's education, people have the right to know if that's where it's going.
Of course we know that counterfeit, but who gives a fuck about that person? Like, who cares? Like, can you explain to me why that child's opinion matters? Seriously, in any context. Why would I give a fuck, really?
I mean, you say you don't give a crap about anybody or anything, and yet every single day is you being outraged. I've played this game before, too. I know what I'm talking about.
She acts like a child.
Ma'am, you fart on the internet constantly. You scream at security people who say that you cannot live stream at a mall on private property. You fart on your cat. Please stop.
Okay, Kitten Caboodle, those are trolls literally coming in to purposely do that. That's how fucking sick these people are, okay? And who cares? What is that going to change? They get blocked, it's over. If they don't watch, if you're saying there's a predator, you better not put Sasa on because there's a predator watching her. Okay, he can literally just go outside and see a child. He can literally fucking turn the channel and watch Dr. Rachel. So should Dr. Rachel not have any children on her channel? What the fuck is your logic? You're so fucking dumb. You're not allowed to be in my chat if you're a dumbass, okay? I don't know how many times I have to tell you. No dumbasses are allowed in my chat. You piss me the fuck off. So many people post children on YouTube.
Okay, maybe you should delete yourself from your own chat. Again, this is still something that you can control on your own channel. Also, no, from what I recall, you did not block a whole lot of people. They're just trolls, you want to say? It doesn't matter if they are just trolling. The fact of the matter is, they are making those comments. Those are their actions. Do something about it and stop trying to excuse it as, well, Trisha Paytas is putting her children on the internet. So what? We're not talking about Trisha Paytas. Somebody probably is, but we're talking about you right now.
This is not modest. I think he's planning on doing streams 3 days a week. Yeah, he's enjoying it. He likes streaming too.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. Salah makes more interesting content and tours than Chantal does. I know a lot of people, every time he shows up, they're like, oh no, I don't want to see this man. But for me, the little tour that he did of Damascus and things like that, I much prefer that over whatever Foodie does, because he actually takes a little bit more time in telling us what's going on or showing us what's going on, and Chantal can't be bothered to read the information in a museum.
Salah said that, I know you're going to think this is like controlling, but whatever, it's not. I asked Salah just to know if it's permissible to show your feet, and I'm allowed to show my feet, so I can wear sandals. He's like, yeah, just cover your body, but your feet, like, it's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't care about permission for things. You would do whatever you want. And I'm not here to talk about whatever religion she's pretending to actually follow. I don't care about that, but I do think it's funny when she talks about being modest and things like that, and yet, here we are.
I don't know what our plan always was. You don't know anything about our plans, Biscoff. Nobody does, actually. Things that we had talked about when we first got together, what our plans were, you don't know. That's what I'm saying. You don't know anything about anything. So, I'm not telling you guys.
You tell us everything. We know so much, actually.
Everything personal, but we didn't even really have a plan. We were just going with the flow, actually, most of the time.
Okay, I've had 2 long-distance relationships in my life, and the second one, honestly, I don't even know if I consider it a relationship at all. But I can tell you that when you just go with the flow and you don't have any real plans, it's not going to end well. And these relationships that I had were in North Carolina and Canada, Ontario, Toronto, and North Carolina and New Jersey. Having everybody in the same continent is difficult enough. Having everybody on the same coast is difficult enough. Now, when you are trying to have a relationship or a marriage or whatever with somebody who lives on the other side of the world and you don't have any sort of plan put in place, that's going to make it even harder. Of course, I, like many other people, don't believe that this is a real anything, but just to make commentary because I can.
Thing is I'm keeping all of my future plans quiet from now on because I feel like, it's not that I don't trust you guys, it's just that we're public and I feel like some privacy in life is definitely healthy, you know?
You'll tell us next week.
Envy is like an actual thing. It's why it's a deadly sin in the Bible, and it's why it's also haram in Islam, because it's putting an evil eye on someone. That's why we say mashallah. Like if you say, wow, you're so beautiful, mashallah, like because you know that.
Ma'am, I think you know the Bible as much as you know the Quran. The Quran, I need a hearing person to tell me how to pronounce that. But you haven't read either of them, and you know like 5 Arabic words, so please. Stop.
The people saying, oh, he's never come. I saw a comment. People comment like he's never coming to Canada, as if they own the immigration laws or whatever, you know, as if it's up to them.
It is up to Canada's border control, but as far as we know, he's been denied twice in terms of coming to Canada. So
if you can try till you're blue in the face to make me feel bad.
That's easy. That's why you go and you rage in every single live stream for like 5 hours a day. Because if you really didn't care that much, you just wouldn't respond.
You ask ChatGPT. I don't care. I don't care enough to ask ChatGPT. There's nothing you can say or do or whatever to make me think otherwise, so there's no point. Fuck ChatGPT. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit enough about the subject to ask ChatGPT. I don't care.
You care enough to talk about this for hours on end on a live stream, though.
I wouldn't even care if it said that he was fucking 20 girls, if that was a sign he was fucking 20 girls. I don't care, okay? So there's no point. I don't waste my time on stupid shit like this like you.
Is that why you're wasting 5 hours of your time talking about this on a live stream?
I just want to use ChatGPT to ask about dumb shit.
You ask ChatGPT about your diabetes and other health problems. You shouldn't be asking ChatGPT anything, but especially that.
Make AI pictures of me and my husband kissing, and that's it. All right? Thank you.
Girl, listen, I'm alone, and I'm sad that I will probably be alone forever. But you won't catch me making AI pictures of me kissing people that I have feelings for if we are not together, and even if we were together. That's weird.
Guys, have a good night. Inshallah, see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, that was weird. That was a fun time, I guess. And that's the first video, so we'll see how this goes. If you enjoyed this, leave a comment, I guess. Subscribe if you'd like to. That would be very much appreciated. And we'll see how this goes and if I continue to do this stuff. And again, thank you to Barbecue Chillin' for having this video at all and making it more accessible for me to make these videos. And I will see you later. Bye.